What is going on, everybody? I am the FDGURU, bringing to you guys a Friday NBA edition of my DFS podcast. We are dealing with an 8-game main slate on FanDuel. As usual, I'm going to give you guys one value play for each position, looking like a really nice slate. We have some really cheap value plays, and I'm doing a Guru credit code in this video. Just give this video a like, subscribe, give you guys some free Guru credits to kick off the weekend. We'll probably do my NFL video tomorrow on Saturday, and that will have a free Guru credit code as well. So a couple of promos. I'm going to get this out of the way early. FanDuel last night was an absolute fucking disaster. I mean, you talk about the worst time to not be able to edit lineups. 6 o'clock Eastern through 8:30 Eastern on a Thursday night football slate and an NBA main slate at 7 o'clock. And somehow I kept refreshing and I was able to edit, get like Diabate on the Hornets. I was able to get him in the lineup and kind of adjust things. But I only got one lineup out. People couldn't edit anything. And there's no word on refunds or anything. They should have to pay out everyone who won money last night. And then anyone who didn't win as much money as their entry fees. So say like if you were betting $100 and you got $90 in return, you should be refunded the $100. If you made money on the night, fine. You don't need to be refunded. But there are hundreds and hundreds of people with thousands and thousands of dollars up in the air, and they can't edit their lineup, especially with NBA. When news is a crucial thing, I am curious to see what happens because they are going to run into legal action. There are people out there who have way more money wagered up in DFS than you and me that it's going to become a problem. We're talking hundreds of thousands of dollars on dummy lineups that people can't enter. So we're going to have to see what happens. It's an absolute mess. Looks like things are ready to go for tonight. I haven't seen something like that happen in a long time with FanDuel. They've had it where you can't edit things, but they usually fix it before lock, and it's not a big deal. For their site to be crashed for the 2 hours before lock, what a disaster. But let's talk about the value plays today. Speaking of FanDuel screwing up, they screwed up again. I'm just going to get this play out of the way. Nick Claxton's minimum price, and he's probable tonight now. I don't understand why FanDuel, when a guy is out, especially a guy who hasn't been out for a while, why drop his price? Just keep him at $6K because when he's not playing, he's not going to be rostered. There's no reason to drop his price to $3,500 because when he is active, when people would pick him, it's the wrong price anyway. So just keep his price the same. They've done that with players where they drop their price when they're out. Just keep him at the same price. He's not going to be rostered anyways. Now we have a $3,500 Nick Claxton who said in an earlier report that he's going to play Friday. And assuming, he might be on a minutes limit. He's going to play 20 minutes tonight. Even if he played 15 minutes, he needs 17 fantasy points to hit value. It's the wrong price. Just put him in at center and move on. If you wanted to try to be sharp and overthink this, don't play him and hope that, the 5% chance he doesn't reach 17 fantasy points in this game. But just plug him in at center. Makes things kind of boring. I wish he could play power forward so we can kind of get different with our lineups. But that's not the case here. He's a center only on FanDuel 3,500. Play him. It's going to open up a lot of things for your salary. Point guard, James Harden. I think he's the best spend up right now. Now, I didn't talk about questionable guys, and we have Jokic questionable. He's been out for a while with the birth of his kid. I hope everything's okay. To potentially miss a fourth game, that's a longer period of time for a kid being born than usual. I hope everything's all right. Nonetheless, we're going to get news on Jokic probably well before the game. We've gotten that the last 3 games because it's not an injury. So it's not like he has to go through pregame warmups or anything. That game is at 10 o'clock Eastern, so I'm really hoping we get that news before the main slate. They have been dropping that news early for the 3 games that he's missed. But for questionable guys, we have Joel Embiid, another absolute head scratcher. He's questionable again due to injury management. He is a fucking load of shit. I mean, he is something to deal with, huh? I mean, what is going on with this guy? How can you be questionable with injury management? I've already spent too much energy on Joel Embiid this season, but he's questionable nonetheless. It's the first game of the slate, so we'll get that news. Not too many other questionable guys. We have Anthony Simons questionable for the Trailblazers. They're pretty properly priced with Simmons being out, or Simons, I should say. But that's about it. There's not much out there that we have to wait on. Makes for an easy day for me outside of Jokic and Embiid. But I was only saying that because for point guard, if Jokic is ruled out again, I like Harden right now, but Jamal Murray would be a better play with Jokic out at only 8,200. Dropped a 53 spot last game, but we'll have to wait on that news. I like James Harden for now, 9,100. Price went down just a little bit. Needs 45 fantasy points to hit value. That's what he's projected for tonight. Great matchup at home against the Kings. 3.5 point spread. Clippers are underdogs. 221 over under. The Kings will bring out the pace in this game because the Clippers haven't exactly been playing with a lot of tempo this season. I like Harden. There's not really any reason not to like Harden. Norman Powell is out, so that opens up even more shots for Harden. He's got guys like Derek Jones, Amir Coffey, and Chris Dunn in that starting lineup. Outside of dumping it down to Zubats, Harden's going to have to create his own shots, and he's one of the best in NBA history at doing that, as he has just reached number 2 on the all-time three-point record behind Steph Curry. So this guy, he's built a career off of playing next to some pretty bad players. So I'm not too worried about Norman Powell being out for the Clippers. 50 burgers in 2 out of his last 3 games. Again, really good matchup against the Kings. I'm not worried about De'Aaron Fox's defense. For my Guru credit code, go to my website, fd-guru.com. Hold on, fdguru.com. It's not what I want to do. Go to the shop page. Make sure you're signed into an account. You can make an account. Just, validate an email. There's no credit card required. You'll get 250 credits for signing up, which is $50 worth. Credits are what buy you my NBA content as I post around 30 minutes before lock for the main slate, as you can see. On this tab, NBA main, FanDuel, DraftKings, I offer a bunch of different lineups. Go to the shop page where you buy your usual credits to spend on my content. There's a little coupon bar here, and type in the date, which is NOV22 NBA 24. All capital letters, NBA 24 for the year. NOV22 NBA 24. Hit apply coupon. You'll get 10 credits uploaded into your balance after a couple of seconds. Just give this video a like, subscribe. Put my alerts on so you don't miss any future videos and giveaways. For example, Exhibit A tomorrow, posting my NFL video with another free Guru credit code. Shooting guard, I like Jaylen Green tonight. His price went down even more to 6,300, or maybe that's what he was around last slate. Good matchup against the Blazers. It is an NBA Cup night, so while the Rockets are 12.5 point favorites, it takes some extra blowing out for these guys not to play, because in the NBA Cup, point differential matters. So we won't see guys with as short of leashes as we usually see in a normal regular season game. So the blowout risk doesn't exactly concern me here. Outside of that, the matchup is A1 for Jaylen Green against this Blazers team. 225.5 over under. He's projected for 34 fantasy points tonight. He needs just 31. I like him a lot. He's represented a high floor outside of the 12 against the Clippers. I think he's going to project out really well tonight at shooting guard, and a nice middle tier spend for the Rockets. For small forward, we're going to get cheap again. We have a couple of 3K value pieces in this video. Nick Claxton for obvious reasons, and then Tory Craig at 3,800. Drew the start with Patrick Williams out for the Bulls last game. I think Patrick Williams is going to be out for a couple of weeks, they said. So Tory Craig steps right up, and he played really well in that role for Patrick Williams last game. 27 minutes, 31 fantasy points, only needs 19 fantasy points to hit value. Do I expect him to go 15 and 6 for 31 again? No. But if he's going to play over 25 minutes, he can be a guy, to average just under a fantasy point per minute and hit that 20-plus fantasy mark that we need tonight. It's a good matchup against the Hawks. It's basically a pick'em. 240 set. I did not even realize this. Holy shit. Because the Bulls have been playing with the highest pace in the league this year. And then you got the Hawks, who have obviously played fast. 247.5 over-under. Holy Lord. We're going to have to get some exposure to this game. That's for sure. I like Tory Craig at 3,800. There's a lot of other pieces we can get to on both teams. But for the sake of this video, Tory Craig, 3,800, giving us two $3,000 value pieces in this video. And then for power forward, I think we spend up on Harden. Sorry, not Harden. We are going to spend up on Harden, but spend up on Giannis as well. It's going to be possible to get Giannis and a star, maybe two other stars in your lineup with value pieces like Nick Claxton at minimum price, Tory Craig below 4K, and other guys. Giannis is basically a must spend up in my opinion tonight. There's not really anyone comparable to him tonight. Now, if Jokic plays, maybe, but he's $700 cheaper than Jokic, and Giannis has been absolutely cooking. I don't know what else to say about him. I mean, a 98 a few games ago. I had him that night. I had him last game, 66. This man has been dominating for me. He's been cashing the props. I've been picking props on him. I picked over 31 points for him last game. He got 41. Matchup couldn't be any better against the Pacers. It's only a 5.5 point spread with them at home because the Bucks have also been mega ass like the Pacers. The Pacers and the Bucks might be some of the two most disappointing teams so far this year. But in terms of DFS, we see a 237 over-under. We see a pretty tight spread. NBA Cup night. This should be points galore. I love a sub 12K Giannis tonight. You should be rostering him as a first priority guy in your lineups tonight. That'll do it for this video, guys. Punch in that Guru credit code. Keep an eye out for my channel tomorrow for the NFL video. Give it a like, subscribe. Let's have a great start to the weekend and cash out. Until next time, I am the FD Guru. Peace.